Hey friends, it's David again, and as many of you know, we power all of our electrical needs on our travel trailer through solar. And we have 4 rooftop solar panels and 1 solar panel on the ground, and it all combines to be 770 watts of solar input power. And this much solar input has done so well for us over the 4 years that we've been on the road. However, recently our electrical needs have increased by quite a bit because Ro has started streaming on Twitch, and the gaming laptop that she uses pulls quite a bit of power. Believe it or not, it pulls about 20 amps when she is playing very high graphically demanding games. And on top of that, I also will be editing video many times at the same time that she is streaming, and the computer that we use to edit video will pull 15 amps. And so combine those two together and we've got 35 amps of electrical demand when we're both using those laptops at the same time. And that has been fine for the most part because all of our solar panels combined will provide about 40 to 45 amps on a full sun day like today. And 45 amps is quite a bit. We have a 400 amp hour battery bank. And so we would be bringing in like 10 or 11% of our battery capacity per hour. So even if we are like very low on battery capacity at the beginning of the day, if it's full sun all day, we will be fully charged before the sun sets. And then probably the biggest challenge that we face when it comes to our electrical consumption is that most of it happens in the evenings, typically around sunset, because that is usually when Ro will be streaming on her Twitch channel, and that's usually when I will start editing video as well. Because, you know, during the day, on a beautiful day like today, I want to be outside and I want to be, enjoying nature. I don't want to be, cooped up inside editing. I'll save that for when the sun sets. And so that massive electrical consumption that our laptops use, all happens after sunset. And so we're bringing in no solar input then. And on top of that, if we, even on a normal day, if we hit a cloudy day, or a string of cloudy days in a row, then it can be really challenging for us to, maintain enough electrical power in our batteries to be able to do the work that we need to do. And for these reasons, we are considering wind power. So the main draw of utilizing wind power is being able to still charge our batteries overnight when our solar panels are bringing in no energy. And something as low as 100 watts estimated, charging would bring in about 7 amps at 14.4 charging volts. And over a 12-hour period, that would be 84 amp hours. And, if we had decent wind all day over a 24-hour period, that would be 168 amp hours. And those two numbers, charging a 400 amp hour total capacity battery bank is some serious charging. And I feel that if we were able to make those type of numbers off of a single wind turbine, then we would have just absolutely no issues with running low on power. And even though we do have a backup generator, man, we would never have to pull that thing out to charge our batteries back up. Wind power sounds awesome though, doesn't it? And so you might be thinking, what has taken me so long? We've been on the road and we boondock for 4 years now. So why have I only been taking advantage of solar? Why do I not have a wind turbine yet? Well, it's kind of funny because I have been kicking around the idea of getting a wind turbine and utilizing wind power for about 3 years now, but I always, shoot the idea down in my own head because, quite frankly, wind power just is not as convenient as solar power. First off, every time that we would arrive at a campsite, I would have to set the wind turbine up somewhere, wherever I decided to mount it. And then when we leave a campsite, I would have to tear it back down and find a place to store it while traveling. And we already have pretty limited storage space in the back of our truck and none in our travel trailer anymore. But yeah, so that will just take extra time, whereas our solar panels, you know, the ones that are mounted up on the roof, they just sit there. I never have to mess with them, except in the winter I do have to tilt them up, but that's a pretty easy process. And the expansion solar panel that sits on the ground, it just takes like no time at all. I literally just unfold it, set it on the ground, plug it in, it's done. Whereas there would be quite a bit more work in setting up and tearing down a wind turbine. On top of that, wind turbines, you know, typically will need some maintenance because there are moving parts. You know, it is rotating. And, you know, solar panels, however, have no moving parts. So there's no maintenance required and like really no chance of anything breaking on a solar panel just through, you know, regular use. Also, I've heard that wind turbines, even small ones that people use on RV applications, generate noise. You know, you can hear them, and, you know, that's something that we're not really all that keen on, because one of the things that we love about boondocking, dispersed camping, is that it is silent where we're at usually. You know, we typically try to go as far away from civilization as we possibly can, and so all we hear usually when we just listen is either the wind through the trees, you know, birds chirping, that kind of stuff, and it's just so pleasant. And if we got a wind turbine, you know, we would be sacrificing, you know, just the silence, which is just so nice and tranquil. And then another big problem for us is, you know, usually I'm pretty sure people mount these wind turbines to a ladder that is on the back of the trailer or fifth wheel or motorhome, but we do not have a ladder on the back of our travel trailer. And we actually, you know, picked this model because of, you know, that was one of the reasons, because it didn't have a ladder. You know, it's got that big rear picture window, and a ladder would have just obstructed the view from that window. So we opted not to have one. However, in this instance, it's sort of biting us because I don't really know where else I would mount a wind turbine except, you know, somehow mount it to the ground maybe, using guy wires that were staked into the ground, you know, somewhere away from our RV. All I know is that if I do end up getting a wind turbine, I'm gonna have to get pretty creative on how I affix this thing in a location. And it's for these reasons, and probably some more, that, you know, I just haven't gotten a wind turbine yet. And, you know, you other RVers, especially full-time RVers, I'm sure will notice that while solar power is heavily utilized, you know, amongst, you know, the entire RV community, wind power is pretty uncommon. I would even say it's pretty rare that I come across another RVer that is utilizing wind power.
Since we've been considering wind power for many years now, and basically thinking for the most part it's impractical for RV use, especially when you're traveling a lot and boondocking, I think that because of our power consumption needs changing, I think that it's time to actually try and consider it. And, you know, best case scenario, it is really beneficial for us, and combining our solar power and wind power
would just solve all of our electrical needs.
If it can solve all our electrical needs, then like that would be absolutely amazing. And, you know, the downside of it is that it just doesn't work. Maybe the downsides outweigh the benefits a little too much or more than we anticipated, but there's still a plus side to that downside, and that is that no matter what happens, we get to report back to you guys our thoughts and feelings and our experience trying to utilize wind power in an RV.
Yeah, and so worst case scenario, I guess still isn't really all that bad.
Nah. We're also going to gain a lot of experience throughout this because, you know, whenever we plan on settling down, which we don't know when that's going to be at this point or anything, but we like to throw around the idea. We like to talk about what type of power we're going to have. And, you know, we've always wanted an off-grid home. And we've always wanted to use solar and wind power to power that off-grid home. And so we're going to gain experience. We're going to now learn about using wind turbines. Yes, it'll be like with an RV, but it's not going to be that different than living in an off-grid house. And I think that that experience and knowledge is going to be well worth it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we already know solar up and down, but we know very, very little about wind turbines and, you know, wind applications. And so, yeah, gaining that experience will be huge for us when down the road, whenever it is, we do decide to build that off-grid house. Now, when it comes to what brand of wind turbines or what type of wind turbine we want to get, we have kind of no idea. And so if you guys are currently utilizing wind power and you have a wind turbine that you really like, you know of a really high quality brand with good customer service, good technical support, all that stuff, then please let us know in the comments below. That would be a major help to us because we are going to begin the search right now for a wind turbine that will work for us. And so yeah, that if you guys could shortcut that for us, that would be awesome. But that is all for this video. We're really, really excited for the the experience we're about to gain with wind turbines and the chance of it providing, you know, being that like missing link to solve our electrical production and electrical consumption needs while boondocking in our RV.
Imagine being able to use our laptops literally all night long.
Literally all night long. That would be fantastic. Yeah, because I mean, we currently do stress a little bit about our electrical consumption.
When the sun sets, yeah, we really do.
And so easing that anxiety would be just so worth it. And at this point, I'm willing to put up with the maintenance and the setup and the teardown and all that stuff with a wind turbine. But that is all for this video. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. And oh yeah, Rose Twitch channel. You guys, please check it out. She streams all the time, like 4 times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so if you want to hang out with her live, go check her out on Twitch. Her channel name is Ronut.
Here's it all typed out right there for you guys.
Yep, and I'll even put a link in the video description below for you guys to check out. But that is all for us. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye. Sweetie, say bye.